Tell me about your first ever your Strongwoman comp. Tell me about like how the experience was. Did you win? Did you lose? How was all that? Because I'm sure you remember the first one, right?
Yes, I do.
Sorry, wasn't listening. My first strongman comp was Alabama Strongest Man in 2017. I grew up watching the sport. Then in I found out they had women competitions. So I did some like internet research through like social media, found the contest, networked, found a coach in May after my birthday because I just like squatted, benched, and deadlift. Sent him videos of my top 3, and I was like, am I even like strong enough to do this? Because like I don't want to go out there and get embarrassed. And he was like, you'll be just fine. So I went, I trained, June, July, it was in the middle of August or so. And I got there and I signed up for the middleweight class, not novice, and I went and secured the win and then went on the nationals after that.
Amazing. How about you, Mel?
It was fun.
I did a rookie show in December of 2016, but my first like real official sanctioned show I did in April of 2017, which was I guess a qualifier for provincials in Saskatchewan. So the weight classes at that time were different than they are now. We've since like aligned with Strongman Corp weight classes. But back then when it was CASA, middleweight was under 154, I believe. And I walked around at like 165. So I actually did a weight cut for my first show, which like looking back now probably wasn't really, I mean, it ended up working out fine, obviously. I ended up winning the show and I'm still competing 5 years later, or 6 years later. But if I had advice for myself looking back, I probably shouldn't have done a weight cut. It wasn't a huge weight cut, but I do not do well with water cuts, so it was a little painful. I had to sweat it all out because water loading and water cuts don't work for me. So yeah, anyway, I cut the weight, did the show, ended up winning the show, and then went on to do provincials that August and won provincials, and then went to nationals that September and won nationals. So yeah, it all worked.
So there's a trend that I'm seeing here, and it's like everybody that I've talked to so far, which is like obviously like the people at the most elite of your guys' level, is everybody has won their first comp. Every single person. Like Luke won his first comp, Evans won his first comp, so was Sam. Everybody's won their first comp. So that means I have to win my first comp.
No pressure.
Right, no pressure.
I wanted to ask, what show are you doing?
I'm doing the Capital City Showdown in Edmonton. And then I got a little overzealous, and I also signed up for the Quebec one 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later?
That's awesome, though.
But it's like in terms of like weights, it's such a massive gap. Like so the show in Edmonton, the Capital City Showdown, is like fairly light. Like I mean, like the actual clean and press is only 150 pounds. I can do that with one arm, but the Quebec one is 245.
Yeah, it's like double. Almost, yeah.
Yeah, so it's because exactly. It'll be like my first it'll be like the real first strong man comp. You know what I mean? Like where I'll actually struggle. So
that's good though. It'll be like a warm up show.
Exactly, right? Get at least like one medal before like sinking into the underground.
Here's my first comp so I can win because everybody else won, so this is the one I'm doing.
Exactly. So I guess next question for you guys. This one's like not scripted or anything, but how obviously what we're seeing this year, especially with the Arnolds, is like this absolute amazing direction that the sport is going into, giving women starting to give women the same opportunities as the men. So what was the feeling? Because I caught it on camera, so I'll be able to like prove this. But what was the feeling of stepping out on that stage the first time and seeing like the crowd full?
A crowd?
I pretty much wanted to cry. I think I kind of did cry, honestly, when we like walked out with our flags. It was very emotional. I don't know how else to describe it.
I didn't cry.
You don't cry.
I was more so just like pumped to have like stands full of crowd that you can't even like see an empty chair.
Yeah.
Was something we've never witnessed before. And I think the coolest thing for me, especially, is if I like yelled at y'all, like y'all yelled back, and like to have that like connection with people at like a contest is something I've never experienced before. And like you can really thrive off of that. And like even just like when they were like chanting like my name, I've never had that. And like that feeling to me, like that'll go down like as like a huge like core memory, because like I've never been able to be with a crowd like that. And I mean, I like the crowd, I like to entertain, I like to just be me, and it's just like bar none, that was probably hands down one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of and witnessed.
Yeah, and I think it's like when we started Strongman back in 2016, 2017, that's kind of when, I mean, aside from, there was World's Strongest Woman back in 2002,
early
2003. But after that, it kind of disappeared for a while. So when we started was kind of when it was just starting up again. So to look back on where things were when we started in 2016 and 2017 compared to like the Arnold this year, it's
very fast.
It's insane how far the sport has come for women, and to kind of be a part of that from like the start to now,
it's cool.
I think that's why I was so emotional. Because it's super cool to see how far it's come, and I think it's only going to blow up like exponentially more this year.
I at least hope so.
Yeah, because I think for us, we just needed that platform to show people, like I don't think it's ever been a case of like people don't like watching Strongwoman or whatever. It's just we never had that opportunity to show people how good we are and how entertaining we can be. So the more opportunities we get to do that, I think it's just gonna be a domino effect.
Yeah, because it wasn't like we were running with the men and they got up and left when the women.
Yeah, no.
It's like they were standing up. They were not letting people come watch us because there was no more seating, and they were just flooding the sidewalls, and they literally, even though people had tickets, they were not letting them back there. Like for that, I mean that opened up a lot of eyes. I mean, I know it I think exceeded what they thought.
Yeah.
And it surprised a lot of people. And I mean, it would be a shame if that was like the pinnacle of what it would be. Yeah.
No, being there, I don't think it's going to be the pinnacle. I think it's one of the beginning. Yeah. It's what Laws said like multiple times on his channel, and what everybody else that was like commentating or anybody that's been to shows before was saying. The women really, I mean, by a margin, stole the show.
Yeah.
It was so much more entertaining watching you guys just fucking grinding it out. I don't know what it was. Plus, your nosebleed was just an epic moment. So
I pointed at you. You said, point at you. And I found you in the crowd. And I was just like, this is what you want. But
insert clip here. Let's go! I love her.
It's funny because like, where we were back in that like little holding area, and it started to drip, and I was like, oh, here it comes. And then Leif was like shoving it back in my nose, and I'm like, no, let it go. And she's like, no, if you walk out there with them seeing it, they're gonna plug it up. And I'm like, oh. So I was like breathing out of my mouth, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't want to dry it up. And I was like, I want it to happen. And she's like, you're insane. And I'm like, I got to give the people what they want. I said, by damn, I was like, I'm not going to have the biggest deadlift. I said, but it'll be the most memorable.
And that it was.
I a cross deadlift 2 or 3 years ago.
It wasn't the heaviest, but it was the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it insane that in my mind, that to me ties the Victoria Long 650 like air. You know what I mean? It was that cool.
Like, we know Victoria's strong. I mean, whatever. It's like, I mean, that wasn't surprising to me because I was like, yeah, she's strong. But it's like, oh, Hannah freaking ripped a deadlift up and poured blood and actually completed a lift. That's cool.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Times I've had like epic nosebleeds. I'd failed the lift, and I'm like, this is stupid. It's not cool if you don't make the lift.
You make a good point.
I mean, it's like all that effort. It's like, and I've had like the stone like load was a massive nosebleed, and I was just straining so hard, and I just got up and like blood like caked all over my face, and everyone's like, "Oh, sick nosebleed." I'm like, I didn't make the lift. It doesn't count. It's stupid.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean. You got to make the lift. And then I was pumped. And then I went backstage. I'm like, all right, now if Rogue just makes a reel out of it, my life will be complete. And then like
and they did.
I got and I'm like, yes. This is like the only thing going good for me this entire fucking show.
Worth.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. What about, like, if you guys had to give any advice to myself or to anybody that's like considering on doing a show, considering about joining the sport, starting to train for it, what would it be?
Super cliche, but for your first show, obviously have fun. It's your first show, you've got a long road ahead of you, so don't put too much pressure on yourself because, I mean, at the end of the day, we do this because we love it, right? So yeah, I would say just go into it and have fun. As like advice as a whole, I think it's really important to be patient in this sport. Big things aren't going to happen overnight, so patience and consistency is really important.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
My big thing is be realistic.
Yeah.
Like, don't go in being like, I'm gonna be the next world's strongest man. Rawr. You know what I mean? It's like you're 5'8" on a good day. So not you're not 5'8", but like, just be realistic with your goals. I mean, believe me, like starting out, I never thought I would be where I'm at. So like, also, I mean, you can leave goals to improve and like, don't set yourself too low of a standard, like push yourself and your own goals up, but like be realistic. If you're a guy and you're 5'8" and you're 165 pounds, you're not going to be the world's strongest man. Like, I'm sorry, you're just not going to do it. So be, realistic, set goals, realistic goals. Because, like, when I go into a contest, it's what you can do. You can't control other people. So, like, don't get in your head that, like, I know Victoria Long's going to pull more than me on the deadlift. So I never go in thinking, like, worried or upset that Victoria Long's going to outpull me. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just know what you can do, bring to the table, and count on yourself and bet on yourself. Because if you do all the right things and all the little things and set yourself up for success, and at the end of the day, if you PR or meet or like max your, or meet your PR from prep for every event and you still don't win, that's the best you could do. You know what I mean? So many people get caught up in like, I want to win. But it's like, if you PR'd every event and you still came in 4th place, that's all you can do. Like, you're not, I mean, it was funny with the stupid log at Arnold. Everyone was like, you're not going to try to like do the 270. And I'm like, I'm not going to hit a 40-pound PR. Like 40 pounds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm just wasting energy. So it's like, no, I'm going to be the only one that doesn't attempt it. And it's like, for a lot of people, that would have gotten their head. And then, like, I'm the only one not doing it. But I was like, I'm not going to hit it. I'm not going to waste my time and effort. I was like, I'm just going to go do the 220 or whatever the hell it was. And then it's like, just set yourself up for your realistic expectations and goals. Because my thing is like, I might set my realistic goal of, like, to podium. Then on top of that would be, like, win 3 events or something. Like, you got to set, like, realistic goals and, like, a little goal ahead of that in case you do hit your realistic goals, like what's next. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody likes to win. Don't get me wrong. Like, I hate losing more than anything, believe me. But if I go in and do the best that I can do given that day, that's all you can do. But then also, I mean, like at the Arnold, I had a bad show and I had a lot of issues going on with my knees and stuff. You just got to keep digging. I mean, I never like once gave up. It wasn't going my way, but I was like, well, I'm here. Might as well just make it fun and have a good time and just do what I can do. So it's like, you got to take the hurts and the punches along with the wins. And you have to learn not to get in your own head if you do make a mistake.
Yeah, that's a big one. If you don't do as well in an event as you had hoped, you kind of have to just forget about it and push that aside before you go into the next one, because that's just going to set you up for failure for the rest of the show if you are going to let that if you're going to focus on that one bad event or whatever. There's usually 5-6 events in a show, right? So you can't let that one bad event carry on into the other 4 or 5. Because yeah, it's not about, you can literally win a show without winning a single event.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely possible. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I was backstage with her after Wheel of Pain, and I was having to joke and laugh about it, because if I'd have sat there and got my feels about it,
yeah, you can't dwell on things.
Like, I matched my lifetime PR on log. That's all I can really ask for. I would have had the 4th rep, but I dumped it behind me.
Right. Yeah.
And then I PR'd my deadlift. The stone throw and the frame didn't go well because of my knee, but if I'd have just like laid down after, the Wheel of Pain, then it would have been just like, it'd have been embarrassing to watch, because I'm like, what is Hannah doing?
Yeah.
I mean, but still, like, I mean, this will make you laugh. I don't think I told you this. I got off the Wheel of Pain and I got to my mom and daddy, and my daddy said, well, golly, Hannah, Mama could have went up there and got last. And I'm like, oh, okay, Dad. Like, that's the kind of family I grew up in, super competitive. So it's like, fair enough, Dad. Like, yeah, you're right. Mom could have went up there and just went, whoop, and still got the same place as me. Thanks. But, but that's just, I had to laugh about it. Like, believe me, in my head, I was raging internally. And my mom was like, I can tell you've grown as an athlete because you didn't show how mad you were on stage. And I'm like, because there were cameras everywhere, Mom.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like competing at the level we're at now too, is you have to,
eyes on you everywhere.
You have to be professional at all times. Which you did.
Yeah.
I was very proud of her.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I don't know if you saw it like on the equipment testing that night. I was eating it up and I was like, oh, tomorrow's going to be a good day. And I was all pumped about it. And I went there and looking back at the video, I was at too high of angle and I wasn't leveled off enough. But I mean, given that time, you don't know what's going on. You can't stop what you're doing and restart.
Like, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it too as like, in a year's time, people aren't going to be like, oh yeah, remember when Hannah got last on Wheel of Pain? Like,
and then fucked up the entire show.
Like, it's not like that. At the level we're at. Also, it's not just about like our performance as athletes. It's also we're like entertainment to people too,
it's
right?
butts in the seats.
So people are gonna look back in a year and be like, oh, remember that gnarly nosebleed that Hannah got? Like, people aren't gonna be dwelling on her not showing out on Wheel of Pain, right? So
yeah. I mean,
no.
Yeah, and it was a hard like punch in the gut, because that was the worst performance of my entire career, and on my biggest stage. I mean, and granted, like some of that, like I was having a lot of knee issues. I'm still having knee issues that stemmed from last Arnold with that stupid 800-pound yoke. But I mean, the competitors understand and realize, and I mean, even the promoters were like, I came off the Wheel of Pain, and Jan Todd had her clipboard, and she goes, it's okay, honey. There's still like 6 more people after you. Anything can happen. And I'm like, thanks, Jan Todd.
Damn, Jan Todd.
I'm going to go cry in my corner. But, and that's the thing. I mean, you just have to, I joke about it and laugh about it. I mean, you have to, because if not, you'll just beat yourself up so much internally that you'll just ruin yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, my main goal was to just have fun with my friends and do some cool shit in front of a lot of people. And like, like when I look back on these things when I'm done competing, it's stuff that we can joke and laugh about and remember, and you're not upset about it because you're out there. I mean, I've told Mel this, like competing with her the last 2 Arnolds is probably the best memories that I've had as an athlete. Like I remember like the nosebleed and, you know, this, that, and the other, but being up there with your best friend doing cool stuff together, that's the cool part.
Yeah. And that stems back to me saying like having fun is so important because like I said, we do this at the end of the day because we love it. And this sport has brought me, honestly, some of my best friends in my life, including Hannah. And the weekends as a whole competing are like the Arnold. Honestly, I've been to the Arnold the last 5 years, well, minus like the COVID year, but 5 years I've been to the Arnold. And every year it's my favorite, just the experience as a whole, being with all your friends. I love competing, but I love the experience as a whole. So.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
Cut loose.
Yeah.
So what is next for you guys? What are the next comps?
I just got my official invite to the Shaw Classic in August.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's next. And then hopefully Rogue is happening. I don't know, there's been some
Rumblings.
little talks going on there, so I don't know if that's official or not, but and I mean I'd have to get invited also, even if it so maybe Rogue, and then there's also some talk about maybe a show in December in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, so that's me, I guess.
I have a lot up in the air right now. I do have a Highlands game near Boston in June, called No Fame Games. It's a pretty big show that's been popping up. I'm excited about that. Me and Thomas are going to Norway in July for Fae4 Stones of Strength. I'm excited about that, mainly because we're just going to Norway because we're supposed to go the past 3 years, and he tore his bicep. Then it was COVID, then whatever. Then after that, we're planning to go to Denny Day in August, Thomas and I, and lift the Denny's and do all the manhood stones. And it's August. And then if Rogue happens, I'll do that. If it doesn't happen, I won't. And then if the show in Abu Dhabi happens, if I get an invite, I might do it. If I don't, then I pray to God I get an invite back to redeem myself at Arnold next year.
That's awesome. But I mean, yeah, like that's more than everything I need. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Your show in Quebec, are you able to do most of the weights, or will they be PRs?
So the axle clean and press is 245. Like I've only used an axle twice, and I hit 220 with these. So 245 should be fine. The next one is a
clean and press or press away?
Clean and press. The second one is the car deadlift. So who the fuck knows what that's going to be like?
Are you in Calgary?
Right now,
like that's where you're based out of? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you train at Strength Edge?
As of like 6 days ago,
okay.
Yeah.
As of 6 days ago.
Which is also the length of my prep so far.
Whatever. YOLO. Like they have a car deadlift apparatus, I think.
They do, but theirs is front and the other one's size. It's more of a trap bar deadlift.
Oh, you're doing side handle.
I think so, and I really fucking hope.
Then you can just use a trap bar.
Yeah. Other than that, there's a yoke.
Fuck you.
Which is very light though, because it's only like 5.
Oh, that is light.
What?
Yeah, it's this is weird. It's like some ways it'll be super heavy, some ways it'll be super light. I don't know. It's gonna change. And then power stairs, which is like 250, 300, 350.
That's not bad.
But it's like five steps each.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's cardio at that point, you know.
Just power stairs or duck walk? I saw you duck walking.
Yeah. So duck walking is for the show in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was super light. It's only I think it's like 275 or some shit. I can spare with that. Yeah, no, it's like I was telling Evan, the one thing I'm scared of is the axle on the 245 because I had 11 surgeries on my stomach in the last like 2 years.
Oh.
So it's just like every time I bring it up to my gut, is this when I rupture my colon again? You know what I mean? Because it's like sit it on it. So that's why I'm trying to just like bring it up to my belt.
Yeah.
And then just fucking yeeting it as hard as humanly possible to bring it up here. So I don't have to do the whole like gut and then you know what I mean?
So you're gonna
What's
belt
that?
clean.
I'm gonna belt clean fucking hard.
YOLO, whatever.
Hey, just as long as it works, fuck it.
You're fucking allowed. Are you
Sorry?
coming to Shaw?
Yeah. Well, if everything goes well, which is, I mean, I don't think anything would go bad, but everything as of now, yes, I'm coming to Shaw.
I'll be at work on night shift.
Well, that's trash. Trash. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. This was a lot of fun. Probably the one where I laughed the most. I can already see like the thumbnail. I'll probably like put you guys on like each one of like the sides, like doing a lift at the Arnold's, and then I'll just be like. I hope you guys have a good day. Enjoy the beers. Enjoy the what looks to be perfect weather.
It's nice.
Very nice today.
When you get in the pool.
Yeah.
Our kiddie pool. Have you seen our kiddie pool?
Yeah. Every day on Mel's story.
Because Mel's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
I did not ask me anything yesterday, and some guy's like, "Are you gonna post pictures of the pool every day?" Or no, he's like, "Are you gonna get in the pool every day?" And I'm like, "Yeah, obviously." I'm like,
You're like, if you don't like it, stop watching my
yeah.
story.
So unfollow me if you're already sick of it.
Well, I call it. It's funny because all the guys at work know about her. They're like obsessed with Mel. And my brother knew that she was coming down, so he's like, "What is Mel doing during the day when you're at work?" I'm like, "Oh, she's just in the pool." He goes, "You bought a pool?" And I go, "No, we bought a kiddie pool off Amazon." And he goes, "Can y'all fit in it?" And I go, "It's inflatable. It's like 10 feet by 4 or 5 feet." I was like, "It was $80." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, you can fit in that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we've been doing." But every day I go to work. What'd you and Mel do last night? I'm like, "We crushed some beers, got in the pool, did whatever." "Well, what are y'all gonna do tonight?" "I don't know. Make tacos, get drunk in the pool, play, hit that thing, ring that thing in there." But right now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that like you guys throw like the can at the
there's
keg?
certain points. So if it hits the center where you tap it, it's 15. If you throw it and it lands and it stays in it, it's 50, because that's the hardest thing to do because it wants to bounce out, And then if you just hit the keg, it's 5. So right now it's 65
to
15, 10.
10. I don't know.
It's 65 to 10. She's fucking losing.
It's 0 points if you don't hit the keg, which is what I have
Which
most of the time.
saw that in your story. It was quite funny.
Kiss the can and fucking it went straight left.
Just Kobe.
Well, it's funny because Thomas goes. Doesn't count. So she had some practice shots last night after we were done playing. So maybe today. I mean, we're about. Oh, do you want to go see us real quick? Because we're empty. You want to see who can do the most points? Come with. Come with.
Insert Magic School Bus field trip song.
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good.
That is the famous
Can
pool.
you see the keg?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Right, so we're just gonna. Oh, we're standing up.
Get in there.
No, you have to get in the pool, obviously.
No fucking air. Can you see now?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me fucking pull up my goddamn pants. Are you going first? Oh, I've been going first every fucking time. Can you see?
Wait, Mel, you're in front of the keg. Okay, perfect.
0.
Get off of the thing!
Okay, well, we both suck today.
We've got to get warmed up. We're one beer deep.
That was so good.
I'll update you on Instagram later.
Amazing. All right, you guys have a good
Yeah,
day.
you too.
All right, take care.